Hello everyone, you're welcome to this space, and today we're talking about international communication, and it's week 1, so we're going to be talking about intercultural communication first. What is intercultural communication? Firstly, I have not traveled out of Nigeria, but I have met with other nationalities from different races, religion and beliefs. This brings me to understand their religious, cultural, economic and social background. Meeting new people make you expel some bad beliefs you might have heard about them and structure new thoughts about issues with them. This short analogy can be used to say that intercultural communication is two people from different nationalities coming together to understand their common goals and settle their differences. However, there are 6 basic reasons for studying intercultural communication as a student. The summary is 1. The self-awareness imperative increases understanding of our location in larger social, political and historical contexts. Secondly, the demographic imperative brings about changing domestic and international migration by raising questions of class and religious diversity. Thirdly, the economic imperative highlights the issues of globalization and the challenges for increased cultural understanding needed to reach the global market. Fourthly, the technological imperative gives us increasing information and increased contact with people who are similar and different from us. Increased use of communication technology also raises questions about identity and access to technology. 5. The peace imperative involves working through issues of colonialism, economic disparities, and racial, ethnic, and religious differences. 6. The ethical imperative calls for an understanding of the universal relativism and dialogical approach to ethical issues. All of the above make an ethical student of culture, develop self-reflexivity, learning about others, and developing a sense of social justice and responsibility. Moving forward, let's define these 2 key words, culture and communication. They are both 2 distinct terms in intercultural communication. 1. Culture. What is culture? Culture can be defined as a community or population sufficiently large enough to be self-sustaining, that is, large enough to produce new generations of members without relying on outside people. And communication. Communication can be defined as a means by which individuals having one group identity interact with individuals with other groups' identities, and on a more general level, that means by which the group interacts with one another as a formal group. Defining these 2 distinct terms, let's have a brief knowledge of the history of international communication. The history of international communication will be understood by recognizing the elements of continuity and change in its development. The base of economic, military, and political power has always been dependent on efficient systems of communication, from flags, beacon fires, and runners to ships and telegram wires, and now satellites. The world is now referred to as a global village, and then, in summary, the world of international communication has changed rapidly in recent years. Following World War II, global communication was dominated by the tension arising from the Cold War, fighting the old Soviet Union against the United States and its allies. Much of the rhetoric, news space, time, and concern dealt with some aspects of the government's control of mass communication, or the impact of government and other entities on free speech, or the flow of information or data across international borders. Today, the United States stands alone as the world superpower, while other economic entities such as the European Union and parts of Asia compete daily with the United States in the global marketplace. There is no large-scale foreign military threat to the United States, but there are new enemies and threats out there. The Taliban, the Al-Qaeda, the Islamic Jihad, suicide bombers, extremists, and a vast array of terrorist cells around the world are taking up new weapons to confront the Western nation. The rapid integration of the world's economy, loosely called globalization, has been facilitated by an informal revolution driven by communication technologies that provide a nervous system for our world today. Globalization is a broad context and inexact term for a wide array of worldwide changes in politics, economics, trade, finance, and lifestyles and cultures. To its critics, globalization is trendy and controversial. They see the world become a consumer colony if the United States, led by Coke, McDonald's, Nike, and other vast pop culture output of Hollywood. How people feel about globalization often depends a lot on where they live and what they do. With just a small visit on the mall, one is struck by the plethora of products and services from many distant lands. We've come to the end of today's introduction to international communication. Next week, I promise to bring more fulfilling topics on the international communication. But before you go, I'd like to click on the subscribe button below and have a good time. Bye.